I'm going to go and start with announcements first. So the first thing that I want to make sure that we go over that you're aware of is bonuses. So first and foremost, drop in the chat, which by the way, our love languages are both words of affirmation. So hype up the chat the entire time. Give us feedback. If something you hear that you like that really resonates with you, make sure to put it in the chat so that we know. But we've been talking about this Zoom all day, and we're so excited to just share all these things on our heart with you because we've been working literally from the morning we woke up, or till the time we woke up till the time we left, just talking to y'all and being in conversation. And so the first thing is bonuses. So I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you're excited about these Stack It bonuses. So the $5,000 bonuses for emeralds and diamonds and all of the bonuses that your girls are getting for promoting, they're incredible. And I hope that y'all understand just the magnitude of what these promotions can do for you. But first and foremost with those, I want you to make sure that you're aware of this, okay? And you need to make sure that this is clear, okay? In order for you to earn a Stack It bonus, so let's say you enroll somebody that goes emerald and earns their $5,000 bonus, you must have 6 personally enrolled top line LCs that are not moved. Give me a nod if that makes sense, right? You must in 2020, okay? So if you enrolled one January 1st, 2021, I'm still not in the next year. This year, 2021, if you enrolled them January 1st, that counts. You just have to have 6 from this year in order to earn that bonus. Now, additionally, it's the same thing for your girls. So if one of your girls earned that bonus and they don't get their 6 LCs, you also do not get that bonus because they didn't technically earn it. Does that make sense? So let's say Morgan's on my team. I wish she was on our team. If she enrolls and she earned that $5,000 emerald bonus, but she did not get her 6 LCs for that bonus, I would not receive the Stack It bonus. Make sense? So in order for both of us to get the bonus, we both must have our 6 LCs. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on that for your girls that did promote and for you. I did not really fully comprehend this for myself, and I now have to get my 6 LCs for all of my Stack It bonuses. Some of you are on here that are going double or going triple or presidential, and you are not necessarily earning a bonus, but you're still earning a Stack It bonus. So you must make sure that you have your 6 qualified active customers not sharing an address with you that are on your top line unmoved, okay? Just want to make that loud and clear, and please make sure that you go down in the depths of your chart and remind them as well for that too. The second thing is, I don't know if y'all saw this, or I know Morgan shared it in her chat and I shared it in my leadership chat, but Cami announced today, which I'm so freaking excited about this because we were actually at lunch with Mary Beth in Tennessee, and we were like, we need to be able to talk about these bonuses for new distributors that are enrolling, because I'm like, they don't even know. Since I'm not allowed to share this bonus, my new distributors have no idea what they're even eligible for because I haven't been able to talk about it, right? Like, we want to flaunt these bonuses, we want to talk about them, and it's hard. And so Cami sent a voice message in our chat today and said that they got it approved to where we can now say, if you join now for $39, you are eligible for a $5,000 emerald bonus, a $10,000 diamond bonus, and a $25,000 double bonus. Give me some hearts, amen, all the things in the chat, because that is huge, you guys. Like, we have made a massive step in being able to put numbers. Now, if you do have somebody that does promote this month or has promoted, you cannot put their bonus on the graphic because that is technically a paycheck because they earned it. Does that make sense? So you can talk about eligibility, that you are eligible for $35,000 in bonuses, but you cannot say, so if Morgan, if I'm announcing her as that emerald, I can't put $5,000 bonus on the graphic or in my post, okay? But I can say, if you enroll as a new distributor right now, you're eligible for these bonuses. This is exciting. I'm pumped about it. And when they posted this in our premier chat and in our ambassador chat, everybody was freaking out because this is huge for, you know, distributor enrollments, because I know a lot of you are here because of those bonuses in the first place. A lot of you are specifically on this Zoom because you saw Morgan or I or someone in our downlines posting about this bonus, and that's the specific reason that you're even on this team. And so this is huge, and I want y'all to get really loud about it and posting about making sure that you're careful about your wording, and you're making sure you're looking at your teams too, and that they're making sure to put eligible for. It's not meaning that they're guaranteed to earn that bonus, because it's not guaranteed. Obviously, we know that. So that's the first just couple of announcements that I wanted to say, but me and Morgan are gonna kind of go off of each other with this, but she's got some good things that she's gonna start with, and then I'm gonna feed off of her. So
Yes. Okay, so can y'all hear me okay? I'm kind of far from the computer, so I'm just making sure, but I do have a voice that carries, so we should be all right. So one thing that we were talking about today, I had good conversations with a lot of you leaders on my team, and something that we were talking about is that a lot of you felt like you were doing your 6 lists, you're being super consistent, which I would agree with, because that's some, I mean, you can say you're consistent, but then we kind of know if you're not actually being consistent. But I was having these conversations with people that really they were being consistent, they were doing their 6 lists, but they aren't seeing the results. And by results, I mean like enrollments, right? They're not getting the customers, they're not getting the distributors, they're not getting their steps of success every month. If you can be honest and say, hey, that's me, I feel like I'm doing my 6 list, I'm doing all the things, but I'm not seeing the results I want, put a 1 in the chat if you'd be honest to say that. And I can just tell you from my conversations today, you're not going to be the only one. Okay, so here's what I want to explain to you is you are a business owner. And that's what I need you to understand tonight is that you're not a distributor for It Works. You're a CEO of your own corporation. And when you show up that way every single day, you're going to show up differently than someone who's just a distributor for It Works, because that gives the employee mentality versus the CEO mentality. So whenever you think about, I am the CEO of my business, what do CEOs do? They get creative, right? They don't just sit down and lie around whenever COVID happened. Like, okay, I'm just going to give you this example because it's a good one. I live in Michigan. So we had COVID, springtime, whatever. We had a business here that our friends' parents actually own. It's Bodie's. We're going there tomorrow. Best steaks ever. It's awesome. And so we have these friends who own this business, right? And we wanted to support small businesses, all these things. We know them personally. So whenever this pandemic happened, like Michigan shut the heck down, like nothing was open. And so we called and we said, hey, we want to order food from y'all. How do we do that? Is there a way to do that? They said, we've actually created this laminated menu that we can give you when you order different foods. And you can actually, because it's not going to be good if you like travel with that type of a food, like a steak, you would have to heat it up and you don't heat up steak. So they were like, we're going to actually give you the instructions on how to prepare it yourself. And they made little menu options with like songs and a good cocktail that would go good to pair with while you're cooking your steak or while you're cooking the Brussels sprouts. And they gave you each container, and like it was like a whole experience that you got to do at home.
Didn't they call it like date night in a bag or something?
Yes, date night in a bag. I posted about it and like tagged them in it, and it was totally a blast. And so many people swiped up and was like, we want to help them. Where are they at? This is so fun. Yeah, so I posted about that. It was so cute. We all got dressed up. And by we all, I mean me and Derek, we got dressed up and we were hanging out. We were doing this whole date night, and it was so fun. Like it was such a blast, but they never did that before the pandemic. Right? And they even delivered the food to us. Think about Mexican restaurants. To-go margaritas are the best thing that came out of quarantine. Amen? Okay. So y'all, people are getting creative. So the reason why I tell you that story is because I want this to stick with you. When you think about this business and you're like, oh, this isn't working anymore, AKA indoor dining isn't working anymore. They didn't just say, all right, well, let's close up shop. It's just nobody's coming in anymore. We're just not making money anymore. We're just not getting any customers anymore. No, they said, what can we change? How can we pivot? What can we shift? What things can we start? How can we create a delivery service? How can we maximize people eating at home and not wanting to cook? How can we make sure that we're making ourselves stand out by doing a cute little menu thing and having a whole experience versus just takeout? How can we do to-go margaritas, like all these different things that came out of quarantine? And I think about it too. The reason why I mentioned Michigan specifically is because then COVID went into winter. So even the whole takeout, you can eat outside thing that they ended up being able to do, in the summer when things kind of loosened up and we got to go to places. We did that in the summer. but then it got cold. We live in Michigan. It's literally -9 degrees outside right now. And so eating outside is no longer working. So within the last 12 months, there has been so much pivoting with these small businesses, but that's because they take ownership of that business. They're not waiting on corporate over here that doesn't exist for them actually because they're a small business to change something. And so like Jenna said, we have igloos now. They've started doing those little clear igloos, and they put the fire things in it, like the little heaters. They have fire pits you can sit outside of and freeze when you think you registered and reserved an igloo, but you actually didn't. That happened with us.
Are we shocked? No or no?
Are we shocked? No or no? Okay, anyways, so and they have like little we have one place that has the little huts, like these little like individual cabin looking things. They're tiny, and they have people are eating in RVs. They're renting out these Airstreams and having things in there. Like, it's so fun. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is you've got to stop just laying on your back and saying, this isn't working. I'm doing my 6 every day and it's not working. I'm doing my 6 every day and it's just not working. I'm just not getting any customers. I'm just not doing this. You're accepting that. You're just sitting there and saying, oh, this just isn't working. Then do something different. Mm-hmm. I would never just be like, oh, this isn't working. I'm just going to keep doing the same things. This isn't working. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. Stop doing that.
And something I want to add too about the, Michigan restaurants and stuff is a lot of them got creative on their own. They didn't wait for regulations and guidelines to come out and wait for the government to say what you can and cannot do. Like, they went off and said, this is my home, this is my life, this is my livelihood. And you think about, we're a small business too. Like, this pays for my bills. If I didn't have it works, I mean, we wouldn't be sitting in this house right now, or my home, or any of the things that we are able to do. This pays for my life. And so I'm not going to sit there and wait for Mark to come out with bonuses that are going to excite me. I'm not going to wait for someone to come out with new products to change my business. I'm not going to wait for someone to say, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Like, I'm going to create my own excitement for my own team and for my own people, because it's my income. It doesn't matter what they do. I still pay my bills, and I can change my paycheck based on my own work ethic, y'all. And that was what I did, and what I told my team so much about on Leader Zooms at the end of the year. I gave myself a $6,500 raise in 30 days from my own work ethic, my own distributor enrollments, my own customer enrollments. It had nothing to do with bonuses. I didn't have a bonus. I didn't get anything for doing that other than my own work and changing my own paycheck based on me making my own excitement. And I want y'all to hear that. I don't care what Morgan does or what I do. I don't care what giveaway we do or what contest we do or what Zoom we do. What are you doing for your team? How are you creating excitement for your own? Because yes, we can do a lot of things, but we're not here to make you do these specific things, because what you end up doing for your business is what inadvertently shows your team what they should be doing. And if you're creating that own excitement within the things you're doing and you're learning to pivot, imagine what you're teaching your girls. Because when you're like, oh my gosh, how do you think we found Host to Post? Was when somebody, which Rachel Jones is the one that brought it to our company, when she realized this isn't working anymore, that's when the most creative things come out. When people are starting to pivot, that's when they're like, holy crap.
Let's use TikTok.
Exactly. Like, oh, this isn't working. Let's do TikTok. Oh, this isn't working anymore. Let's do Host to Post. Oh, this isn't working anymore. Let's use Instagram stories. Like, guys, that's where the most creative things happen. And the things that we do every single, like, I don't know what I would do without Host to Post. I don't know what I would do without Instagram stories, but it's because somebody had to figure it out and pivot and then taught us all how to do it. Right. And that's what you should be doing in your business. If you can't figure out what's working, change it up and stop saying, well, I'm doing this. It's just not working, and I've been doing it. Well, how long have you been doing it? 6 months, and I haven't promoted. What are we doing? Why are you still doing those things if they're not working for you? Because what's crazy, she doesn't do Host to Post. I do. She doesn't get customers from Host to Post. I do. She gets Host to Post from stories. I don't. Do you see what I'm talking about? We do different things, and what works for her does not work for me, and that is okay because we figured that out. So carry on.
And that's funny because some of y'all just now learned that I don't do Host to Post, but I haven't done it for 2.5 months. And I haven't said anything because I'm not saying don't do Host to Post or do Host to Post. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm trying to get you out of the box of, do I do Host to Post or do I not? Dude, is it working for you? If yes, then yes. If not, then just spend your time doing something else.
Yeah. Because
for me, it wasn't working anymore. And so I had to change it up. So I don't do Host to Post. Why? Because I don't need to, because I'm getting so much from other things. And so many of you have put yourself in a box. Well, they said do Host to Post, but it's just not working. Who is they? You're your own CEO. No other CEO's like, oh, well, I'm the CEO of Walmart, but Kroger said to do host to post. Like, we don't freaking care what Kroger's doing. We're Walmart. Like, who cares?
And something I want to add on that too, guys, is this, your leadership, okay? You're not just random distributors. You got here, and you got here in a way that like, how you got here. And so when I say that, she didn't do host to post, like put up 5 and say, oh, they're not working for me.
Mm-hmm.
That hear me when I say that. I didn't just sit here and say, oh, well, stories don't work for me. I still do them, okay? I still post my stories every single day, but I don't enroll the same way she does. So I do host to post, but I do them every day, all day long, okay? Don't go and say, well, oh, this doesn't work for me, because you did 5 host to posts for the last week and didn't get a blow up. You know what I mean? And I know you've all done that, because I've done that too. And the reason we're saying this stuff is because we've been in your shoes, where we're like, oh my gosh, I haven't enrolled a customer in weeks. And I'm going to talk about that specifically for me, so that y'all can know that I'm human too. But I want y'all to hear my heart when I say, don't just do something for 2 seconds and say it's not working. Do not do that, because you want to lose your mind in your head, and your head spins on your body when your new distributor says, I just can't get anybody off my dirt list. And I'm like, how many people did you message? 4. You know, you've all got somebody like that, and it makes you want to scream, because you're like, 4 people. That's how I feel about some of you that are like, oh, well, I've done that and it hasn't worked. And I'm like, oh, TikToks, I only see 3 of them. Yeah, none of them went viral. What do you mean? You know, so put the numbers in there to figure out what works for you, because once you find your system, some of you are really good at conversations and some of you are not. Right? Some of you are very, very good at posting on your stories and, building your brand, and some of you are not. Some of you are very, very good at being consistent with host to post, and some of you are not. That's why we're good at different things, is we all have different strengths, okay? And that's what we want to get out to you, is like, I thrive with TikToks and Reels. Like, those are my thing. I love them. Some of you absolutely hate them, and that's okay, that we're not all doing the same thing, but go until you figure out what works for you.
And what we're not doing also, and I know I've kind of said this before, but please hear us, like, what we're not saying is, oh, well, if you tried TikTok and it didn't work for you, like, don't do it. And I'm not saying don't do host to post, do host to post, do Reels, don't do Reels. We're just basically saying, like, we found what works for us, and we're spending 90% of our time doing it. What society teaches you is find what you suck at and try to get better at it. I truly believe that I am where I am because I took the initiative to learn how to do things better that I already was good at. Have you ever noticed that people live up to the expectations that you set for them? And what I mean by that is, like, whenever I said, Caitlin, you're such a good distributor enroller, she's killing it. I was like, dude, you're such a good DT enroller. She enrolled like 5 in 2 hours. And she was like, yeah, I know. It's because I spoke that over her and she became that. Susan one time was extremely wrong and told me that I was a green, and I started to feel more green. I started to become very detail oriented, and all my team is like, what? Nah. All my greens are like, no, she's not. But anyways, so Susan said something about me being green. It's really just because I'm red and I know everything about the comp plan because I want to make money. It's not because I'm green. But I started to think that way, and because that's why I know so many of the things that are like very detailed that I do is because she told me one time that I was green. So I started to act like a green. Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to say is I want you to start speaking that over yourself and start saying, like, I am really good at host to post. If that's the thing that you're good at, she's saying I'm really good at TikToks. Well, yeah, now that she's literally thriving 70 distributors in 42 minutes a day, and so she's like thriving at TikTok, but it's because one time she said, I'm really good at TikTok. Mm-hmm. I'm really good at those things. And it's not BSing yourself, because if I were to sit here and say I'm really good at host to post,
Caitlin is killing me.
Caitlin, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am.
Oh.
I censor myself. So anyways, whenever you're talking to yourself, speak those things over yourself and tell yourself what you know you're good at. And like I said, it's not BSing yourself and saying that you're good at the things that you're not. Own the things that you are really good at. I'm not good at organization, like in my life in general. So I'm going to have help with that. Like, I know I'm not good at that. So I'm not going to spend time trying to get organized. I just hired somebody to do that for me. But if I can spend more time doing what I am good at, then I'm going to be better at those things. And so not only that, but speak that over your team. When you see them doing really good at host to post, when you see them doing really well at TikTok, say that about them. You know, like say those things you think and be like, man, you are so good at TikTok. Like, I can't believe you make those videos. And maybe it's not the best video, but they're out there doing it. Man, you are so good at TikTok. Like, I see that in you. Man, you are so good at writing posts. I think about Nadia. I'm like, Nadia kills it at posts. Well, now I tell her that so much. Macy tells her that so much that she literally started to create this like system of helping new distributors write their posts and does it for new people all the time. And then I was like, dude, you're really good at making graphics. So now Nadia makes all of our graphics for our team page. And so now she knows that and she's living in that and knows that that's her strength and does more of it. Mm-hmm. So figure out what works for you. And the goal every day, what we were talking about too, is it's not about getting your 6 list done. I want you to get, as a leader, it's different. Right? You're held to a higher standard. It's not about getting your 6 list done. At this point, as a leader, if you're not getting your 6 list done, what the actual heck are you even doing? I'm not worried about you getting your 6 list done. I'm worried about you getting the results from your 6 list, right? It's not about what you do every day if what you do doesn't produce results.
Like, how many of you have ever gone to bed and you're like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard today. Like, I freaking killed it. And if you were to actually go through the work that you did, you didn't really do anything, right? Because we get so caught up in scrolling and liking and commenting because we're on our phones all day long that by the end of the day, we feel so accomplished and then nothing happened. I didn't have any good quality conversations. I didn't write any potentials down. I don't have anything saved. Like, I'm not feeling great about my business. We all do it. There's multiple days and multiple times of my business where I just kept doing that. And I felt so good and so accomplished, but I was making no movements. It was almost like that hamster wheel where I was just stuck in it and I just kept doing the same things. And I want to say this too, of like, we've been on a trip and this was very unintentional. I was supposed to be home at this point and I'm not. And so all this time that we've been gone, you know, at the beginning, I was very nervous that I wasn't going to be able to do the work and be intentional because I really was excited about going to Nashville and traveling and doing all the things. But y'all, I've enrolled just as much since I've been here and she's enrolled just as much as she's been here. And I've been able to share content in, like, be present in our trip and take pictures and do this and go to dinner and go to restaurants and do all these fun things. And I just enrolled my 6th distributor for the day. And I only say that to you to say that I've been doing intentional work and not killing myself. I haven't been feeling like, oh, I need to check this off or check this off. Like, I've been in so many conversations that I don't have to worry about what I didn't do because what I'm doing is working. And that goes back to the beginning of her saying, like, she doesn't do Host Plus because she doesn't have to. Now, I know if Morgan wasn't enrolling customers with her story, she'd say, oh, I'm just not enrolling right now. She would figure out a different way because she would pivot. And I know that for me because me not enrolling is not a option.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put that pressure on you to where you feel like, oh, well, I'm crappy because I'm not enrolling. That's a decision. And I went through a phase where I wasn't getting anyone and I was like, oh, it's just not my time, right? Drop a 1 if you've ever done that. If you're like, oh, it's just not my time. I'm just in a slow week this time. Like, I just am struggling. Like, me not enrolling isn't an option because then I'm not leading from the front. Right? And when I did that, I switched over what I was doing and said, let me find what is. Let me do what I want to do. Let me figure out what is working for me. And that's how we both enrolled. And I'm going to share something at the end about that too, but you can go on to the next thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing is, like, we're not rolling over anytime because we have had times that we haven't enrolled like we wanted to. And I've texted her, she's texted me, and I've been like, I just don't know why I'm not signing as many distributors as I normally do. And so then I was like, well, what are people who are signing distributors doing? And that's when I started doing TikTok. And then I was not signing as many people on TikTok. So I was like, okay, but I know TikTok works and I haven't given it enough time. Let me get better at TikTok. Like, how are people finding people? Oh, they're using the trending songs. So let me start doing that. You know, like making those minor tweaks within TikTok and not just being like, oh, well, I put up 3 TikToks and it didn't work like we said earlier. So it's super important to make sure that you work for the results, that you go to bed at night knowing, hey, I went through so many conversations and it was good conversations that even though I didn't enroll anybody or even though I did enroll somebody, that I know that I did what I needed to do to get those enrollments, because it doesn't do jack crap if you got 6 hosts to post up, 10 hosts to post up, did your 6 list, did your self-development, check. Like, you're just marking it off at that point. You're not doing it with passion. You're not excited about it because you don't feel like you're good at anything, because you don't feel like you're getting the results that you want. And then it becomes this thing where it's really discouraging. And so, like Shay was saying, you go to bed at night and you're like, oh, I did my 6 list, check, I feel so accomplished. But then you wake up the next day and you have no new messages. You have nobody blowing up your phone, no one on your team's doing anything, and then you're like, oh, well, why am I not getting where I want to go? And then that accomplished feeling that you get from checking things off of a box becomes a really unaccomplished feeling. And that's why all of you, if you feel that way, that's why you feel discouraged. That's why we get in those moments where we're like, nothing's happening and I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, and doing all of those things doesn't make a difference if you're not seeing the results. So my question to you, and I'm not going to ask you to put this in the chat, but I want you to ask yourself, when is the last time I completed my steps to success? And a follow-up question is, when's the last time I completed my steps to success every month for a year? And if the answer is never, pivot. Yep. Because we both have signed our steps to success like 28 times this month. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because we found what works. We stick to that. And we have a 6 list that is very negotiable. Whenever I'm looking at my 6 list, I'm looking at, oh, I got to message people today. I don't have to message people because people come to me. If that stopped working, if my inbox wasn't full anymore, I'd go start messaging people. I would do host a post. In a second, I would go do host a post. But I know that Reels works for me to be able to get more people. So I do more Reels, I do more TikToks, I spend time on that, get more followers on Instagram, post up on my story, and it's all very strategic. Then that's how I sign customers. I signed 5 customers today and 2 distributors. My 3rd one's signing up right now. And it's because it's all from my stories. It's all from Reels and TikToks. Hers were all from host to post. And her distributors were from TikTok. And she signed 2 customers today too. She didn't mention that, but I'll brag on her.
I'm going
to
talk about that in a second.
So she signed her, and she got her customers from host to post. So we're doing different stuff, but we're both enrolling. And at the end of the day, we don't care how you do it. I don't care how you do it, but I want you to do it. And I want you to take that ownership of your own business as a CEO, that if something's not working and if you've got to pivot, that you're willing to do that and that you step up and get creative. I'm giving you permission. Get out of the box. Get out of the box. You're getting out of your comfort zone. Most of you are pretty fine with doing that, but now I'm asking you to get out of the box of just, let me do my 6 list every single day that I'm teaching my team and I'm not going to deviate from that. I'm asking you to step out of the box, screw the box, do something different.
You want to know what makes a successful person in network marketing? I saw this on a graphic the other day. It's not the person at the top, it's the hardest worker in the room. And when I think about that, I look at every single one of you, and I know so much about Morganstart because I've seen this chart. I've seen that we talk about our teams every day. I know that every single one of you are under someone that's 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 depth down in our charts. And you're on here because you're the hardest worker in the room. You're not just somebody that was put in a box that's here. You showed up, you had the option to not show up to this Zoom, but you showed up because you're the hardest worker in the room. And so what I'm about to say is why you're on here is I want to do this little thing. Drop how many host to posts we tell you to get up every single day. Like what we teach, how many host to posts is the goal to get up every single day. Okay. Do you know that we taught you that when you were a brand new distributor, right? When you were brand new, we say, get up 10 host posts every single day. What's my goal? Morgan, like how many host posts do I get up? 10. That's what we teach you, because in order to learn, you have to learn how to put them up, right? And so I teach my girls in my training, get up 10 host posts every single day. Hey, how many host posts did you get up? Only 4. Okay, let's shoot for 10. As a leader today, I don't remember how many host to posts I got up this morning. I couldn't tell you. I have not a single clue how many host posts I got up. You want to know when I stopped? When I couldn't keep up with the comments. That's what I mean by not just the person at the top. It means the hardest worker in the room. I do not stop when I get a number. And so we literally wrote this down. Stop chasing the task, start chasing the results. I don't care if I messaged 100 people. If I didn't get 10 new names in my name book, if I don't feel like I had enough conversations and my phone was exploding, you know what I'm talking about. Drop a 1 if you're like, you know, the host to post days where it's exploding and you physically are like, my brain hurts. I don't know what text replacement I'm supposed to send. I accidentally just opened this one. I didn't save this one. I don't know where to write these people, right? You could have got up 4 that day and all 4 of them exploded, or you could have got up 32, but you don't know. You didn't know how many you got up that day. And so that's a little analogy I wanted to show you, is that we teach you to do 10, but that doesn't always mean what's going to be good enough or not good enough. It means how hard have you been working if you're not seeing results to pivot and figure out what is. And so I'm going to share this with y'all today. So I came down these stairs this morning, okay, when I realized I had to get my 6 LCs, because if I get a goal, how many of y'all are like that? You got a goal and it's done. It's over. Like, you got to fill a chart, it's done. If you need to get a shopping spree, finish. If you need to get a fast start, done. So I came down those stairs this morning and I looked at Morgan and I said, I'm going to get 4 customers today, because you know what I'm not going to do? I'm going to quit saying I can't enroll customers, because for the last like 3-4 months, I have been mass enrolling distributors and customers. I get like 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe at the max. Like, that's it. And I don't know. And I just kept speaking this over my business. And I was talking to Sam about it, and Sam was like, Cheyenne, you cannot keep saying that. And it wasn't that I was necessarily speaking life or death over my business. It was just that I was like, all I can get is distributors. I try to have a customer conversation and they ask if they can join my team. And it was like every single person turned into a distributor. And I was like, listen, I've now got 70 plus distributors to Fast Start and no customers to Fast Start them. And I started panicking and freaking out. And so I came down the stairs and I was like, I'm going to get 4 customers. I'm going to do it. I got 2 within the next 30 minutes. Easy customers. I just sat down, did my host to post, and I sent out 3 or 4 shopping carts that I need to go follow up with. So I'm not going to bed until I get those 4. And it's not necessarily even just that number. It's the fact that I realized this morning that when I told Morgan I was going to get 4 customers, I sat down and did the things that were going to get me those customers, and I got those customers. And I had good quality conversations, and I have potential saved, and I have screenshots of all the people I talked to on Instagram, simply because I spoke it and I was intentional about figuring it out. When's the last time that you said, I'm going to get distributors today? You know how many people I talked to today that said, I'm just really, because I asked them, I said, how can I serve you and what are you struggling with that I can help you with? And everyone, literally everyone was like, I've been doing all the things and getting no results. Yep. And that's why we did this Zoom. And I was like, if you were doing all the things, you would be getting results. So don't tell me that. Do not come to me like that. And I will tell you that straightforward, because I love you and I know that you're not doing the things. And second thing was that literally half of them were like, I just can't get any customers. I just can't get any distributors. And I'm like, when's the last time you said something positive about that? You've said that every day that you woke up. The longer that you go without enrolling, the longer that you go without promoting, you sit there and say it over and over to where your mind's like, oh, she's not getting customers. Oh, this customer's going to say it's too expensive. Oh, this customer's going to leave me on red. I've been doing that for the last 3 months. And my team's looking at me. They're like, yeah, she hasn't enrolled much customers, because I keep saying that I can't. And I've never done that in my business ever, but it was because all these distributors started attracting to me. Do you want to know why? Because I'm confident in it. I know that I can enroll distributors. How did I get to that point? Because I started doing the things, right? Morgan probably say if I was like, hey, get a customer tomorrow, done. She would do it in 2 seconds, because she's so confident that she can get those customers. And that's how I felt. And so I want you to ask yourself right now, what have you been saying to yourself? What have you been speaking into your mind as to why you haven't been enrolling? Think about the things that have not been working for you. And when's the last time you said that they were going to work? When's the last time that you were excited to do that thing that you're struggling with? When's the last time, like, I don't love doing host to post, but I sure love it when I get comments. Like, I'm fired up when I get my host to post that blows up. So I keep doing until I do that. When's the last time that you got excited about something like that? When's the last time that you did TikToks because you were waiting for that one that went viral, right? And you just keep doing it, and then you get that viral one, and then you keep going, and then you keep going. It's a domino effect, but you got to start. And y'all are getting crippled by the fact that you're not getting customers or not getting distributors. What have you been doing to get those? You're already setting yourself up for failure because you're saying that you're not going to. And I know that many of you do that with your promotions too. Oh, well, this person's not running with me. They will not run until you run. Oh, this person's not promoting with me. They will not promote with you until you tell them where they're going. They will not do anything that you're not willing to do. And so start speaking that out. And I'm talking to myself too. And that's why I wanted to share that with you, is because we are not perfect and we go through the same thing or have been through the same struggles that you're facing. And so stop chasing a task list, guys. Stop chasing a sticks list. Stop chasing these gratification things that are not producing results and wondering why you're burnt out. And wondering why your volume is not progressing or why your promotion keeps getting farther instead of closer, because you're just sitting here doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, and it's not going to change. And so if you have been not getting host to post up, or maybe if you are one of those people that have been getting the post up and they're not getting comments, why are you still doing them? I was doing this stupid TFX host to post that said testers needed in a different font for the last 3 months, and nobody's commenting on them, but I didn't change it because I was like, other people, it's working for them. So I changed it, got my customers today. So change up what you're doing and figure out what works and just keep doing it until you do find it, because I promise you the ones of you on here that are feeling burnt out or feeling a lack of passion about what you're doing, it's because you haven't changed anything in the last year, and that's why you're still where you are. Change it, do something different, and that excitement will come, and it's like a domino. One customer enrolls, a distributor enrolls that gets their shopping spree. You get $150. You place, I just threw my pen, I'm so passionate. You place this distributor under this person. They're excited. This person gets another distributor. They're charted for Ruby. You see what happens with that? One thing after another just starts happening, and it's called the compound effect. You do one thing, it gets better. You do the next thing, it gets even better. And so find your excitement and your hunger for this business through doing the things that are working and stop doing the things that aren't.
And how many of you started this business thinking like, there's no way I can get any customers? And you got a customer and you're like, shoot, I bet I can get two. And then you got another one, you're like, I'm good at getting customers. And then you started to get all your customers and you got your shopping spree. And then you're like, there's no way I can get a distributor. Oh, I got one. I'm good at this. And you got more distributors. It's the same thing. Do it again. Do it again. Start speaking that over yourself. The other thing I wanted to say too, and this is just as she was talking about, like I came down and I told Morgan I was going to get my customers. I just feel like I need to say this. I don't know who I'm talking to, but some of you need to surround yourself with people who you tell your goals to and they say, yeah, you are. And I'm not tooting my own horn, because I know if I had done that to Shay, she would have been like, that's right. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I text Shay and I was like, dude, my team's going ambassador. I texted her the other day. She can tell you. I was like, I've never felt so passionate. I've never felt so excited about this. Like, we've never been this close. Like, it's totally happening this year. I know it. I can feel it. And she said, yes, you are. Yep, you're doing it.
14 gifts and fire emojis.
18 gifts, the fire emoji. She's sending it with the balloons. She was like, yes, we're doing this. So surround yourself with somebody who you're going to tell your goals to, and they're going to say, heck yeah, you are. Yup. They're not going to say, now, how are you going to do that? That's not your people. We don't care about the how. We don't care about how it's going to happen. And you need to find friends who don't ask how. They just say, yeah, go do it. You got this. And they cheer you on. The other thing I was going to say too, that was just a little side note, but the other thing I was going to say too is with pivoting and getting out of your comfort zone and doing all these things you've been talking about, how much more do you think that that's now going to go help your team? Put a 1 in the chat if you're like, oh, shoot. This is going to help a lot of people on my team who are feeling the way that I'm feeling right now, that they need to hear this. Put a 1. Because here's the deal. When I talk to, I've done a lot of coaching calls, because I don't know about Shay, and I know she does this too pretty much, but I try to do a FaceTime with everybody that joins my team. And at this point, it's really hard to do that. But I do my best to do that in certain increments, even if it's a 10-minute, like, let me get to know you. And I've been doing these FaceTimes, and I offered for leaders on my team to hop on those with me and just turn off their camera on like a Facebook Messenger. And I was like, let's do this together. I want you to see what I'm doing. And I asked questions that they didn't think to ask. And I think as we were preparing for this, I was like, that's why, like, this makes sense now. It's connecting for me. Because I was like, why wouldn't you think to ask that question? Not in like a negative way, like, why didn't you think about that? But just like, I wonder why I asked that and they didn't. And it's not because I'm a better leader or because I'm a presidential or anything. That doesn't matter. That's not any of those things. But I was like, why wouldn't you think to ask that? But if you're so cookie cutter in the box, let me do my 6 list. And then you ask them, are you doing your 6 list? And they say yes. You're like, oh, I don't know. Works for me or doesn't work for me. So I don't know. But if you're like, oh, well, whenever you're doing your 6 list, what about adding to your network? Okay, well, when you added to your network, did you do it this way or did you do it this way? How did you do it? Because I've had to pivot in adding to my network, right? Because I did try it this way and it didn't work. And they're doing it the way I used to, but I pivoted and something changed, something shifted.
And how many of you can look to at your team and you know what they're not doing, right? You know that if you go to their Facebook, they got 1 like and it's their grandpa on there, and you're like, okay, they definitely need some interaction help, right? Before your coaching call or before you are seeing, how many of you have somebody on your team you know is struggling? Raise your hand. You know somebody's struggling. Every single one of you should be raising your hand because you know somebody on your team is struggling with something. You know what they're struggling with, right? And so instead of watching them struggle or waiting for them to snap out of it, you have been through probably what they've been through. So go to them and say, hey, I see that you're getting 2 likes on your post. I've been there. It used to be my upline and my dad. Okay, but this is how I fixed it. This is what I did. Here's some interaction posts. Okay, You said you're doing host to post. I noticed you're not enrolling and you were. So how many of you are getting up? Okay, you got up 2. So that means that they're not just there. If they got more comments, they would get up 10, but they only got up 2. So how can I help them get more than 2? Okay, they need some interaction, or they need a different host to post, right? See what I did there? That's what you do when you do coaching calls or you see people on your team. Don't wait for them to come to you because you know that they're struggling. Go to them and figure out what you can do to help them.
It's digging deeper. If you can dig deeper with yourself, you're going to be able to dig deeper with your team.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think I have anything else.
Nope.
I think that was enough. If y'all got value from this, drop a 2. If you feel like this is something that you really needed, that maybe you've been doing the same thing over and over and you're just like, listen, what's wrong with me? I need to be doing something different. I need to change it up. There's nothing wrong with you. It's in what you're doing. It's in the things that you're choosing to do that you can be spending your time differently, because you should not go to bed. And I had a newbie like this and she had a newbie like this week that were like, I'm going to quit because I've just been on my phone all day long. And I'm like, I am at the top of the company and I do not work all day long. Okay. I do what I want and I unplug and I figure out different things that work for me because I know what's working for me.
And it's funny because literally I'll talk to we said this in one of my Zooms lately. I was like, if you text me, I'm going to get back to you. If you're a leader, 2 to 5 business days. If you're a newbie, 3 to 5 hours. Like, I'm not on my phone all day. And that's not because we're just like doing whatever. Like, we have our life and you can have that too if you're working smarter, not harder. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was what I was going to say is like, y'all know that you each can go to whoever you need to go to and that we're always available for that. And if you feel like you're doing something that's burning out and you can't figure out what it is that you are good at or what you should be doing, it could be a simple message, y'all. Mm-hmm. It could be one simple thing that y'all are doing wrong that all you have to do is switch it up a little bit. And so we hope that this encouraged you in some way and that you feel better walking off of this, that you don't have to kill yourself to work and that this should be exciting. Like, I have fun when I work. And now, is it stressful sometimes? Yeah. Do I love doing coaching calls all day? No. Do I love having 147 text messages at all times that I can't catch up with? No. But do I love the value that comes from it? Yes. And being able to help people and figure out those little disconnects, because that's how you build a team full of people that are hardcore hardworking people that are going to be on your leader Zooms too, that you're going to be able to teach. So like I always tell my girls, this does nothing if you don't turn right back around and teach your team the same things. And so actually put these things into action and figure out what's not working for you, and then turn around and figure out what's not working for your team and help them too. So we love y'all so much, and we'll see y'all in 13 minutes. No, that's not right.
Yeah, 13 minutes.
13 minutes.
Make sure you pivot, guys. I even wore my shirt. Pivot.
We'll see y'all soon. So make sure you remind your teams, and we'll see y'all on in just a second. Bye, guys.
Bye.